Shabbat Shalom, beautiful Pnei Or Chevra and extended family far and wide. Parshat VaYakheyl Pekudey, a double Parsha. And Shabbat Mevorchim HaChodesh, in which we invoke and bless the coming month of Nisan. As the new moon rises in the night sky, yes, tonight. It is also Shabbat HaChodesh, the Shabbat that ushers in the liberation time of spring, and with the coming full moon, the arrival of Pesach. And tonight, we change our clocks to usher in, yes, that true emblem of spring, daylight savings time. These twin Parshayot bring the book of Exodus to a close. It has been a long, turbulent journey out of Mitzrayim to this moment. Parshat VaYakheyl opens on the heels of a painful drama, the golden calf. Only 40 days after the revelation of Torah on Har Sinai, despite whatever mi chamocha jubilation we'd carried with us into the desert, and despite the signs and the wonders, we were not immune to exhaustion, frustration, uncertainty, fear. With Moshe gone, perhaps dead, our fears crescendo into an incident that escalates into rage and violence. Yes, Moshe, ever the divine intercessor, hears and teaches us the Shamanic invocation of divine compassion. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun. That we will henceforth chant to open the gates of Rachamim and flow compassion into harsh places. This is good. Yet, violence and anger have a price. Even righteous anger has a price. Usually, shame. When the dust settles, survivors assemble, shaken, demoralized, and uncertain. What do we need most now? VaYakheyl. Moshe Rabbeinu gathers us together, speaking directly to us from his heart. We can and must heal, realign, restore our unity. We can come back together, reunite once again, to be, as Rashi said we were, when we opened our hearts to receive Torah, as one person with one heart. Moshe speaks to us about the holiness of Shabbos, our sanctuary in time, and about the Mishkan we're building, to focus and channel the holiest divine energy through us and into the world. Moshe appeals to the best in each of us, that we activate our inner nidivut lev, our inspired, generous hearts. With renewed hope and an outpouring of generosity, we raise up the needed materials in abundance. Gold, silver, copper, blue, purple, and red-dyed wool, spun linen, scented wood, olive oil, herbs, and precious stones. Women who had refused to give for the golden calf now rushed to bring bracelets and earrings, along with fine dyed wool and weavings, spices and oils. Men join in until so much is collected that Moshe has to actually tell us to stop giving. B'Tzalel, whose name can mean in God's blueprint, son of Uri, son of Hur, from the tribe of Yehudah, comes forward. A craftsman extraordinaire, so inspired with divine wisdom that he can visualize the blueprint. He can see the fulfillment from the description and will lead the construction team. Moshe describes it all to him. As the Midrash tells us, when Moshe ascended Har Sinai, God showed Moshe the 7 heavens, the celestial temple, and the 4 colors of the Mishkan. But it was hard to retain the description of the colors. So God said to him, "Turn to the right." And Moshe saw a host of angels the color of the deepest sea. "This," said God, "is Techelet." And Moshe turned to the left to see another host of angels dressed in royal purple. "This," said God, "is Argaman." To the rear he saw angels garbed in crimson, and before him angels dressed in brilliant white. "This," said God, "is the color of the linen." All of this vision Moshe could only share with B'Tzalel, the master artist of the Mishkan. He alone could understand it. We each have an inner B'Tzalel. Find yours and open your inner vision. VaYakheyl, Moshe Rabbeinu gathers us together. Reb Shalom Brot, citing the Ishbitzer, teaches us that just as Shabbos unites us as a people, one of the greatest miracles of the Mishkan was, although hundreds of people were involved in its construction, when it was completed, in its perfection, it appeared as if it had been made by one artist. The completed Mishkan was Echad, a work of unsurpassed harmony. Miraculously, All who contributed were so inspired by the spirit of unity that this produced perfection. What unites us? Only the depth of our caring for one another. This is what had been broken and had to be restored. Only then could the Mishkan be completed, brought online, and only then the Holy Shekhinah would dwell among us and within us. With Parshat Pekudey, our Exodus journey comes to a close. At the conclusion of the Torah reading, we will energetically sing out, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong, strong, and strengthen each other. May we be strong in generosity, and yet stronger in how we care for each other. Parshat Pekudey. The verb is pakad. Pe, kof, dalad are its root. This verb, lifkod, can mean to remember, to count, to appoint, to order, to notice the presence or the absence of something or someone. It is like a sonar scan. That suddenly pinpoints whatever it is scanning for. It scans for what matters. You. It scans for you. Parshat Pekudey concludes the book of Exodus by reminding us yet again that every contribution and every person matters. Like a Sefer Torah, in which the clear presence of every letter is essential. Each of us and each of our gifts is essential. The Mishkan is complete only when each part, made by each of us, is accounted for, noted, respected, and valued. Take this to heart. Today is also Shabbat HaChodesh. And while we can't read from 2 scrolls today, let's remember that today is the culmination of 4 supplemental Torah readings of the last few weeks, all read in preparation for completing the Mishkan and entering Pesach. Parshat Shekalim, Zachor, Para, and HaChodesh. The names and content of these 4 parshayot provide us with further guidance. Parshat Shekalim teaches each of us to contribute mindfully, A shekel is a coin made of a weight of silver. In the infinitive, lishkol is to weigh, reminding us to weigh our words and our actions to ensure that we are generous and kind. Parshat Zachor, we read right before Purim, reminding us to beware of evil, teaching us that we are responsible to protect the vulnerable, lest harsh forces that can demolish goodness prevail. Be careful. Watch out. Be vigilant. Parshat Parah offers further lessons about purification. With King David, the psalmist, we pray, "Create within me a pure heart." I need practices that help me be free of anger and the toxic influence of anything that destroys my affirmation of life. And today, Parshat HaChodesh teaches us the importance of renewal. Sefer Tehillim, Psalm 150, concludes, Kol HaNeshama Tahalel Yah. Every soul breath praises Yah, reminding us that with each breath, we sing a song of renewal and praise. We breathe around 20,000 times a day. This is the generous gift of life we are given. That's 20,000 daily moments of renewal. New life being breathed into us. We breathe in life and breathe out gratitude and praise. We can be fresh and new every moment, living each breath as if this is the very first time. The new moon of Nisan rises tonight in the night sky. The Mishkan comes online, and a rush to freedom lies ahead. As we unite in our celebration of Pesach, Shabbat Shalom to all of us. Beautiful friends, as always, shortly when we call our one united Aliyah to Torah, if any of these insights touch your life, when we call our Aliyah, rise and reach to Torah in any way you might wish. And if you are group watching, now is a time that you might wish to hit pause and enjoy some holy conversation. We enter the gate of Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, ישראל בקדושתו. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, ישראל בקדושתו.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlul Adonai iti, Uniramema Shemo
Yadav.
Once again, as always, as we call our unified Aliyah to Torah, if any of the insights from the teaching this morning touch your life circumstances in any way, rise in any way you might wish and reach towards Torah.
ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו, ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל לאלוהינו ותנו כבוד לתורה. נא לעמוד יקמת. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו, ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קרבנו לעבודתו ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. VaYakheyl Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. Now Moshe calls us all together. Vayomer Moshe el kol adat b'nei Yisrael, saying to all of us, Ze hadavar asher tziva Adonai lemor. This is the directive being given to us by Yah. קחו מאיתכם תרומה לאדוני, כל נדיב ליבו יביאה את תרומת אדוני, זהב וכסף ונחושת, ותכלת וארגמן, ותולת שני ושש ועזים, ואורות אלים אדמים, ואורות תחשים וצי שיטים, ושמן למאור ובשמים לשמן המשחה, ולקטורת הסמים, ואבני שוהם ואבני מילואים, לאפוד ולחושן, וכל חכם לבכם יבואו ויעשו את כל אשר ציווה Adonai. Everybody needs to come forth to give the best that they have. Everyone who feels the spirit of volunteering arising in their hearts will bring gifts and donations for the sake of Yah. gold, silver, copper, blue, purple, crimson yarn, fine linen, seal skins, reddened ram skins, and hard-grained acacia wood, fine oil for lighting, spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense, fine jewels for the ephod and for the breastplate of the Kohen. And then we need everybody who has the smarts to do this. Come forth and do as directed by Yah. Now Moshe calls upon Betzalel and Aholiav, the master craftsmen, to supervise the work. Vel kol ish chacham lev asher natan Adonai chochma belibo kol asher nasao libo lekarva el hamlacha lasot ota. Along with all those who have skills imbued in their hearts by Yah, to come forth and use those skills for the work of making the Mishkan. ויקחו מלפני משה כל התרומה אשר הביאו בני ישראל למלאכת עבודת הקודש לעשות אותה, והם הביאו אליו עוד נדבה בבוקר. And so the craftsmen take from the hands of Moshe all of the gifts that Bnei Israel bring forth for the work of sacred service, to make it really happen. And everybody brings voluntary gifts from morning to morning. ויבוא כל החכמים העושים את כל מלאכת הקודש, איש איש ממלאכתו אשר המה עושים, ויאמרו אל משה לאמור, מרבים העם להביא מדי העבודה למלאכה אשר ציווה אדוני לעשות אותם. They come now and say to Moshe, the people are bringing so much for this work as directed by Yah. It's plenty enough. Vayitzav Moshe vayaviru kol b'machane lemor. Moshe sends the word out by voice message throughout the camp. Ish v'isha al yasu od melacha litchumat hakodesh. Everybody, don't give any more. We have enough. ויקלע העם מהביא, והמלאכה הייתה דיים לכל המלאכה לעשות אותה והותר. So now it turns out that the work can proceed because there is plenty in the way of supplies to do the work. Not only that, there's a surplus. Now it comes as all of the parts of the Mishkan are created and organized and put together. Vayi b'chodesh harishon b'shana hashenit b'echad lachodesh hukam hamishkan. Finally, now, in the first month of the second year, on the first day of the month, the Mishkan rises up and happens. Vayakem Moshe et hamishkan. Moshe makes sure it's put together. Vayiten et Adonai vayesav et karashav vayiten et berichav vayakem et amudav. ויברוץ את האוהל על המשכן וישם את מכסה האוהל עליו מלמעלה כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה. So Moshe makes sure that the entire structure is in place, then stretches over all of the parts of the structure, the material of the ohel of the tent, and everything is ready to go as directed by Yah to Moshe. Vayikach vayitein et ha'edut el ha'aron, vayasem et habadim al ha'aron, vayitein et ha'kaporet al ha'aron milmala. Vayavei et ha'aron el ha'mishkan, vayasem et parochet ha'masach, vayasech al ha'aron ha'edut kasher, tziva Adonai et Moshe. Now takes the tablets of witness, puts them in the Aron, puts the parts of the Aron together with the poles for carrying it, puts the covering over the cloth of it, and then takes it into the tent of the Mishkan, covering it and putting it there, ready to go, as directed by Yah to Moshe. Vayitein et hashulchan b'oel moed, vayaser et hamenorah, vayaser et mizbach hazahav, vayaser et masach hapetach, vayaser et hakior. And Moshe puts all of the various parts into place, all correctly constructed and correctly placed. VaYakheyl Pekudey, finally the outer covering all around for the Mishkan and for the sacrificial altar. Vayitein et masach shar hechatzer, VaYakheyl Moshe et hamlacha. Moshe now puts the final finishing touches of the work. At that moment, Vaychas he'anan et ohel moed. The cloud presence of Yah fills the tent of witness. Uchvod Adonai malei et hamishkan. The presence of Yah saturates the Mishkan. V'lo yachol Moshe lavo el ohel moed. Ki shachan alav he'anan uchvod Adonai malei et hamishkan. Not even Moshe can go into this place because the Shekhinah presence saturates so intensely in this place, in this moment. And now, as the presence lifts and gives us some space, then all Bnei Yisrael can travel in all of their travels. But when that presence is descending and is completely saturating us, then we stop and live in the presence. For the presence of Yah in Shekhinah is always there. A cloud presence by day, a fire by night. Always there for us to see in all of our journeys. ובהעלות הענן מעל המשכן ייסעו בני ישראל בכל מעשיהם, ואם לא יעלה הענן ולא ייסעו עד יום העלותו. כי ענן אדוני על המשכן יומם, ויש תהיה לילה בו לעיני כל בית ישראל בכל מעשיהם. חזק חזק ונתחזק, חזק חזק ונתחזק, ונתחזק
חזק חזק ונתחזק ונתחזק חזק חזק ונתחזק ונתחזק yes חזק חזק ונתחזק ונתחזק be strong strong and strengthen each other be strong strong and strengthen each other חזק חזק ונתחזק ונתחזק חזק חזק ונתחזק ונתחזק Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu brucha atah Adonai notenet haTorah. May the Holy One of Blessing, who has blessed all of our people, bless everyone today who has reached towards Torah with just the right blessing that you need right now. You may wish to even bring your hands to your hearts and breathe into that blessing. Create within me a pure heart. As the Mishkan comes online, and our rush to freedom lies ahead, as we unite in the coming celebration of Pesach, may all of the hopes and dreams of our hearts be fulfilled in the service of the highest good. We offer at this time prayers for healing, bringing also to our hearts the image and the names of all of those to whom we would wish that our healing blessings be offered at this time. If you are group watching, you may wish likewise once again to hit pause and call out the names of those for whom our healing blessings are offered. Prayers for healing. As we call out the ancient words that Moshe Rabbeinu sung out in prayer when Miriam, his sister, was stricken, and he prayed, Ana, Elna, Rafana la, please God, please heal. And she was healed. Once again, reaching towards Torah, we pray. Ana, Elna, Rafana la, Ana, Elna, Rafana la, Ana, Elna, Rafana la, Ana, Elna, Rafana la. We ask for a complete healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit for all of us and for all of those whom we hold in our hearts. At this time, we also offer a blessing for the new month. Yeah.
Yehi ratzo milfanecho Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Ve'imoteinu שתחדש עלינו את החודש הזה לטובה ולברכה, ותיתן לנו חיים ארוכים,
חיים של שלום,
חיים של טובה,
חיים של ברכה,
חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ עצמות. May it be your desire, the one, God to us and our ancestors, to renew this month for us,
for goodness,
for blessing,
gift us with long life,
lives of peace,
goodness and blessing,
all we need,
nourishment and sustenance. May we enjoy healthy bodies and lives filled with awe and reverence,
so that we shun wrongdoing.
May our lives be free of shame and reproach,
Lives of abundance and recognition,
love of Torah and awe of heaven, in which all of the desires of our hearts are fulfilled for goodness.
and we say Amen. May the one who has done miracles for our ancestors
and redeemed us from slavery into freedom,
continue to redeem us
and gather us from all four corners of the world in unity.
For all
Yisrael
is one fellowship. Chaverim kol Yisrael, v'nomar Amen. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, yeh machar b'yom harishon, haba aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael letova. The new moon of the month Nisan begins tonight, the beginning of the first day of the week. Let it come to us, to all Israel, and to the whole world, a time of good news. Yechashehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu ve'al kol amo be'Yisrael lechayim u'leshalom לששון ולשמחה, לישועה ולנחמה, ונאמר Amen.
May the new moon that rises in the night sky bring good fortune, joy and blessing to us and to the world. We remain standing, reaching towards Torah as the scroll is lifted. As we lift the scroll, you will see the white space that ends and begins the new books of Torah.
בזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה ישראל ואורייתא וקודש בריחו חיו ישראל ואורייתא וקודש בריחו חיו
Torah, ora, Torah, ora,
hallelujah. Torah, ora, Torah, ora, hallelujah.
Eitz Chaim
למחזיקים בה ותוכחה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש יומנו חדש יומנו כקדם.
holding in our hearts our hopes and dreams for the way the world can and must be. A world filled with, again, if you wish to unmute or wherever you are, call out your hopes and dreams. We breathe in life, we breathe out gratitude and praise. A rush to freedom lies ahead. We pray for a world of shalom, of wholeness, completion, fulfillment, perfection, and peace. Aleinu, for all of us and for all of the peoples and creatures of this world. Od yavo shalom aleinu.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, שלום, סלאם ונעמה והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Holding in our hearts a vision of a perfected future, we offer at this time a Kaddish Yatom, a mourner's Kaddish, that there may yet be a further soul ascent, a further aliyat neshama, a further soul ascent into the light for all of those for whom a Kaddish Yatom is offered this morning. Again, if you are group watching, this is a time to gently hit pause and call out the names of those for whom a Kaddish is offered. If you're watching privately, just bring to your heart an image of someone for whom you perhaps say Kaddish today. Kaddish Yatom.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba be'olma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'zman kari v'imru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba mevorach le'alam u'olmei olmaya Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei l'kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'aniran be'olma v'imru Amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromeha, hi ta'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen.
May the Maker of Shalom above and the highest of high places continue to help each of us walk a path of shalom, of wholeness, completion, fulfillment, perfection, and peace. May we be the shalom which we seek. And may there be peace in our hearts and for all the peoples and creatures of this world. As is our custom, we close our Torah service singing Ein Kelohim.
Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalgenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Michelohenu, Michadonenu, Michemalgenu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.